Hello and good morning. It is Sunday the 5th of Feb and I have been meaning to do this vlog for about 1,000 years, which is my DIY Lapland on a budget. We are going beginning of March. We're going from the 2nd to the 5th to Finnish Lapland, and basically we built it ourselves. We didn't go through Santa's Lapland or anything like that, and we did it on much more of a budget than what you pay if you have like a whole package put together. I've worked in travel for like 7 years or something now, so I have like some top tips of how to do it. The sun is blinding me. Of how to do it yourself. And how to save yourself a fortune but still have the best time. I am gonna have to keep referring to my phone because I have all of my notes here, so excuse me with that. But let's go. First off, there are about probably 3 or 4 ways you can do it. We are doing it as flying in to Rovaniemi, I think is how you say it. That's how I've always said it. I don't know. Please correct me, anyone from Finland, if I'm spelling it, pronouncing it wrong. We're flying into Rovaniemi from London, but you can, if you want, go from London to Helsinki and then get the night train up, which I'll go into more in a mo. Okay, so first up, when it's best to go. This is a question that when I booked it, we had loads of questions about, because we're going in March, which isn't your typical Christmas time to go, but it is one of the best months for the best snow, and it's a lot less than if you were to go over the Christmas like period, which is absolutely magical. So anyone doing it over Christmas, absolutely do that. But you can get really, really good deals, and you can still visit Santa's Village even in, you know, Jan, Feb, March. You can just go with like a letter for Santa if you're going with kids to say thank you for your presents. Santa's Village is still very much open. All the elves are still there and stuff. I'm acting as if elves are real people, but everything is still very much Santa's Lapland. The village is open, everything like that. So you can still do all the things and have the magical time. Just not going over the Christmas holidays will just save you a lot in flights more than anything, and obviously because it is a peak time to go. Right, so first up, flights are released 11 months roughly in advance. With Ryanair, you can get a little bit more than 11 months. So the best thing to do is almost time to get the best pricing, is to time it to book 11 months pretty much to the day that you go. Some are 11 and a half months, some are 12 months. Ryanair seems to be more around the year mark. So that would be like my first tip. The second one is, you would think Lapland would be full of snow. We're going to Finnish Lapland. So if anyone else is going to Sweden or Norway or anywhere like that, this is specifically for Finnish Lapland because that's where we're going. So this is what I've done all my research for. So best time to go is sort of like December to March, and in November, weirdly, you can go and there will be no snow. So just even if the flights are like a lot less, just be really, really careful and make sure you do your research. Sometimes in November you can get great snow and you can travel a little bit, because we're going into Levi, I call it Levi, I don't know if that's right. But that's where we're going. So we're flying to Rovaniemi. We are getting car hire, which I'll go into in a minute. But just be careful if you're going in November, because I have seen and done research that there can not be much snow there, which would be a complete disaster if I was going with kids and there was no snow, because I feel like that is the reason you go to Lapland. So you can obviously stay up. I think they're released at like 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes at the Christmas flights if you want to go at Christmas, with EasyJet and Ryanair. So you can stay up until silly o'clock in the morning to get the best pricing, because you do get the best pricing because flights go on availability, not necessarily to like destination. So the more flights there are, the more seats on a plane there are available, the cheaper it's going to be. So the sooner you get in, the better it is. So we are flying from London Stansted to Rovaniemi. They fly on a Thursday, Friday, Sunday and Monday. We are going a Thursday to a Sunday, and then we come back. So we're basically going for like a long weekend, but the most popular trips seem to be like the right amount of time. If you're going with young children, seem to be around like the 4-day mark before it gets like either a little bit overwhelming or a bit cold. So there's like, you can sort of do everything you want to do within that time. Then after that, it's very much sort of like exploring at leisure, which sometimes young kids don't want to do. Okay, so I'm sorry if I'm speaking so fast. I'm just trying to get all of this out in one take. Right, so you can fly from London Gatwick if you're a little bit more south. We are quite south, but Stansted and Luton and stuff, it's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit more annoying. But because we're only going for 4 days, we will just park at the airports. We don't have to rely on lifts. So you can go with EasyJet from EasyJet. You can go from London Gatwick with EasyJet to Rovaniemi. And then, as I said earlier, we're getting car hire, which we're going to then drive up to Levi, which I believe is like an 1.5 to 2 hour drive. But the roads, car hire is a really, really popular thing to do. So the roads are very safe and like wide and prepared for hire cars and people who wouldn't necessarily have driven in a snowy country before. So the other thing I must mention is with flights, quickly going back to that, is if you are booking with Ryanair or EasyJet, just please be careful about luggage, that it's included, because a lot of the fares will sort of be value fares where it will just be for the seat only and you'll get your one cabin bag, and then you will get stung at the airport because they can basically charge whatever they want, because once you're at the airport with your luggage, so you're gonna have to pay to get it on. So it is cheaper to book that in advance. So just have that in mind when you are booking. Okay, so car hire. We have got car hire from Rovaniemi Airport, and then we're going to drive to Levi. I really don't know if I'm saying it right, so I'm really sorry if anyone's laughing. In Cotilia, which is a little bit more north. So it's around a 1.5 hour to 2 hour drive, but we will stop on the way for dinner because I think we land at like sort of late lunch, maybe like 2 o'clock. So we'll get the car hire at like 3, and then we'll do probably like an hour's drive and get like an early dinner and then carry on. And we have got an Airbnb. Airbnbs are so good. There's so many really good lodges and stuff. And I think our whole accommodation for like the 4 days was less than £500. And there's actually 7 of us going, because I'm taking my parents as well. We're going with my parents. So, which is great because babysitting and helping. But yeah, we had to get like a bigger lodge. So there are loads of smaller ones you can get, but we had to get a bigger one because there's more of us. Car hire wise, we paid €400 for a 9-seater car. As I said, we are going as a 7, but you can obviously get like a 5-seater if that's all you need. We got a 9-seater, so there's enough room for our luggage. With luggage, because it's expensive to have a suitcase each, and we're not going for that long, so we don't need a suitcase each. I think it's like £40 per suitcase per way, so it's like £80 a suitcase roughly. So we're just going to check in one big 23 kilo bag with all of our snow stuff in it, and then we'll just have our cabin bags as well, because that's all we're going to need for the time that we're there. And if you are travelling with young children, there is a charge for car seats with the car hire. But I know that a 5-seater is quite a lot less than a 9-seater. So the €400 mark is like the higher end of a car, of car hire, because we're getting the more seats. Right, I'm going to go onto the night train, but I'm going to grab a drink. The next bit gets a little bit more complicated. And if I've spoken too fast, I'm really sorry. Please just leave any comments if you have any questions. So the next bit is the night train. So another really popular way to do it is to fly into somewhere like into Helsinki, which is the capital, and then get a night train up to Rovaniemi, which is where we're actually going to fly directly into. So you can do it like one of 2 ways. The night train is meant to be so much fun. And they make it really, really Christmassy in like peak time, like in December, so that's really cool. So for example, there's 2 overnight trains departing from Helsinki, and these rates that I'm going to tell you are the saver rates per person each way. It departs at 7:30 in the evening and gets in at 7:30 in the morning, so it's 12 hours. And then the other one is a later one, so it departs at 11:15 in the evening and then gets in at 11:15 in the morning into Rovaniemi. And then on the way back, it's very much the same, so it departs at 5:45 and then gets in like 6:30 when you're going back from Rovaniemi into Helsinki. So they are really good times to sort of, you know, get in with your flights and stuff. So the tickets, they start at €49 per person each way for the saver rates for the cabins downstairs, and these are the ones that interconnect. So if you want interconnecting cabins, you've got to go downstairs. The ones upstairs, which are a little bit more, they are €59 per person per way, and they do have a toilet, but they don't interconnect. So if you have young children and you want interconnecting cabins, you're going to have to go downstairs and then just not have like an ensuite toilet situation. Children aged 0 to 10 travel free when they share a cabin with a full paying adult. So if you're a family of 4 with 2 adults, 2 kids, you're only going to pay for 2 adults. So it is a really, really, really cost effective way to do that. Really, really, really easy to book online. There is, if you get the wrong dates or anything, it's just, I believe, don't quote me on this, at the moment it is €5 to amend your ticket, but you must amend it before the first leg of your journey. So you have to amend it basically before you start any sort of travel. Okay, I think that's all about the train. If you have any questions, please just message me and I can answer. I feel like I'm speaking really, really quick and running through this. But yeah, you can also phone. One more thing, you can also phone, and they're really, really good. They speak perfect English, really, really helpful. So that's also a great way. They also do have a Facebook page, I believe, where you can message and book. But I will properly check that out and let you know. Right, next on is clothing. Of course, you're going to need snow clothing for this. And if I'm honest with you, we haven't really bought anything new because they're only going to be in it for 4 or 5 days. And it's sort of the same with a lot of families when you spend a lot of money on ski gear and snow gear and then they wear it for like 5-6 days or a week and it's still pretty much new because kids, all they want to do is jump around in the snow. So I have some tips. Decathlon and Aldi are really, really, really good quality and really reasonably priced. Another one which I've got so much off of is Vinted. So it's like, well, it's just a selling site, but it's a really easy app to navigate and use, and you can just type in by size, age, all of that, and it will just bring up everything. And you just pay for it, pay for the postage, and it's delivered. But you can obviously see all the pictures, but everything I have got is really good quality and pretty much new. I've got it at a fraction of the price. So that is a really good tip. The next one, the other tip I have found out, which is super important, we obviously haven't been yet, so I will vlog the whole time we're there, but it's to get hand warmers and feet warmers, which you can buy in places like B&M, or I believe eBay do them, like the eBay shops, and probably like Sainsbury's, like Decathlon, like I'm guessing all of the major normal retailers will do them. But they're just those ones that keep you toasty. I think you have to just shake them and they're like activated upon, I don't know. Anyway, that's what I've seen. Let's just go with it. Right, my next bit is Northern Lights. Okay, so Northern Lights. This is something that I'm so desperate to see the Northern Lights, it's not even funny. And I have been researching heavily, and the best places to see them, I'm so sorry about my pronunciation again because I know I'm not going to do it right, is Kymi, Rovaniemi, Ivalo, Levi and Saraskella, I think that's how you say it, are the best destinations for seeing the Northern Lights. We're going to Levi, or Levy. I don't know, guys, I don't know. I don't know how you pronounce So fingers crossed we're lucky enough to see them, because it's an actual dream. The kids obviously are, I mean, they say they want to see them and it's going to be magic, but I feel like for the parents or the adults who are going to this, it's magic. There is an app that I found called Aurora, which gives you the forecast and likelihood of seeing them in that area at that time. And from what I've seen, it's actually quite accurate. Of course I will vlog when I'm there. I'm going to vlog our entire time there. But upon research, I've seen that many recommend and prefer Jan to early March are the days that are lighter, and you could also have more of a chance of seeing the northern lights as the evenings are not as cloudy. Fingers crossed, we're literally going early March. So yeah, download that app. You can also get like Aurora finding like excursions where you can get like the snowmobiles and stuff, and a guide actually takes you out. I know with some of them, if you don't see them, I believe they take you out again for free, like maybe the night after or the night after that, if you don't see them but you've paid to sort of go on that excursion. But I don't know if that applies for everyone. But yeah, it's a thing I want to do.